Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this video is reviewing Quadratics Part 2. Here we have one of the problems on our previous worksheet, and I'm going to solve it two ways. First, I'm going to solve it using the quadratic formula. So, first step I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add 5 to both sides. I'm adding 5 to both sides, okay? And let's see, we end up with b squared minus 6b minus 52 equals 0. Now, why did I add 5 to both sides? Is remember, I want to make sure my equation equals 0. See how I made sure it equals 0? Now, you see, I can solve it. And I know that a is 1, because that's the coefficient in front of the b squared. I know b is negative 6. And I know c is negative 52. Now, I'm going to be doing a few steps in my head just to speed things up a little bit. Okay, so you may want to pause the video and rewind from time to time. But we should know the quadratic formula. Okay, is negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so pause the video and write that formula down if you need to. Now, I'm just giving myself some more space here. So, using that formula, I'm going to get the negative of b plus or minus square root b squared. Now, 6 times 6 is 36, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is negative 52. All divided by 2a, and of course 2 times 1 is 2. Okay? And hopefully we know that the negative of negative 6 is 6, plus or minus square root 36 plus, because we're going to take negative 4 times 1 times a negative 2. And a negative times negative is always positive, right? And if we do our math correctly, that's 208 over 2 again. So continuing on, I have 6 plus or minus square root of 244 divided by 2. Now normally we'd be close to done, except we now must understand anytime we have a radical, we're going to simplify it. So if you're an IM1, your teacher probably will let you just use a calculator and come up with the numerical value. But for IM3, IM2, and above, we have to simplify. Okay? So let's simplify that radical. Okay, so as you can see right here, I did simplify the square root of 244 real quickly. And you will notice I do have 2 2's and a 61. And 61 is prime. But those 2 2's here, right here at least, I can simplify to a regular 2, correct? So in other words, I hope you understand the square root of 244 is 2 times the square root of 61. Okay? So finishing up the problem, I have 6 plus or minus 2 square root of 61 over 2. And now I would be done, except, do you guys notice how all the numbers are all even? They can be divisible by 2. So I'm going to divide each one by 2. So here is my final answer. 3 plus square root of 61 and 3 minus square root of 61. In other words, the 2 here cancels out that 2, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, and that 6 becomes a 3. So now you definitely want to pause that video, but this, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do the quadratic formula. Okay, so now we're going to do it completing the square, and I'm going to try to go a little bit faster. The first step, you'll notice, is a little different. I'm actually going to add 57 to both sides. So I end up with b squared minus 6b equal to 52. Now, why would I want to add 57? Is this time, guys, follow the purple. I want all my numbers really on the right side. Notice I left a gap right here because I want the perfect number to complete the square. Hence the name complete the square. So how do I do that? Well, that's going to take a few little calculations, right? I'm going to take this negative 6 right there, divide by 2, which is negative 3, and then I'm going to square that negative 3. And negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9. So I'm going to add 9 there, and of course, to avoid changing the equation, I'm going to add 9 to the other side. So pause the video and make sure you understand what I've done so far. Okay, we're almost done, believe it or not. See, by adding 9 right there, everyone follow what I'm circling there, I've made that a perfect square. Matter of fact, that's b minus 3 squared. Okay, that became a perfect square. And that, of course, equals 61. And if you want to know where the minus 3 came from, right here, see what I just circled? See that negative 3 that we got from cutting the 6 in half and squaring it becomes the perfect square. Okay, finishing up, all I need to do is square root both sides. And notice, I end up with b minus 3 equal to plus or minus the square root of 61. Because the square and the square root cancel each other out. And hopefully you know I'm now going to add 3 to both sides. And my final answer is b must equal a positive 3 plus the square root of 61 and positive 3 minus square root of 61. Wow, that answer, guys, notice, is exactly the same as the answer we got right here. So what I just showed you, I hope you understand, is that doing the quadratic formula is the same result as doing completing the square. Okay, so please study this video more than once. Pause, rewind, take notes on it. But the key thing I wanted to show you again is that completing the square is the same result as the quadratic formula. Until next time, bye.